A'udhu billahi minash shaitani rajim. Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. Prior to ayah number 19 of Surah Muzzammil, Allah talks about the previous nations who were sent Rasools, messengers. The people of these nations disobeyed their messengers. They disobeyed Allah. O mankind, we have sent toward you a Rasool to bear witness for you or against you, as we had sent a Rasool towards Fir'aun. Fir'aun disobeyed our Rasool, so we seized him with a firm grip. Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala reveals such stories to us throughout the Quran to wake us up from our heedless state, to instill a sense of Taqwa and Khasheeyat, so that we can return back to Him by taking the right path. He, Subhanahu wa Ta'ala, thus mentions in Ayat number 19, "Surely this is but a reminder. So let him who wills take the right way to his Rabb." So, it begs the question, what is this reminder? Who will take heed of it? And what is the right way towards Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala? And how can it be achieved? These are fundamental questions that I would like to shed some light upon in the context of Surah Muzzammil. About the reminder, Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala mentions in Surah Abbas that it is a warning for all of us. Surely, this is but an admonition. He, Subhanahu wa Ta'ala, gives an open challenge to mankind. Let him who wants pay attention to it, where the condition is that man must use his free will and rise up to the challenge. Also, this reminder has been well guarded and protected by the angels. It is written in scrolls, which are honored, exalted, purified, and which remain in the hands of scribes, who are noble and virtuous. But who can take heed, and in what circumstances? Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala answers this question in Surah Al-Muddathir himself. In ayats 55 to 56, Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala lays down the roadmap for this. First, man must use his own free will to come towards Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala. Only then will Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala allow mankind to come towards Him. The willingness aspect here suggests that we must all first inculcate the purest and most sincere intention to do this, niyat, based on ikhlas, and only then will Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala open His door to lead us towards Him. And during this quest, He, Subhanahu wa Ta'ala, will test us, some more than others, based on our individual capacities of endurance, to see who indeed are sincere and trust His way of unfolding our respective destinies in this short life. He alone is worthy to be feared, and He alone is worthy of forgiving those who fear Him. Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala's choice of the word taqwa over here must not be confused with the translated word fear. Taqwa is a state of being conscious of Allah at all times, so that one is always fearful and mindful of not doing anything that would displease Subhanahu and disappoint Him when we would be standing in front of Him one day, accounting for our deeds. Taqwa grounds us, it molds and shapes us and constantly acts as our protective shield towards all the vices that surround us. It helps us control our lusts and desires, which are constantly being whispered into our sudoor, our chests in the form of waswasas from the shayateen. It also helps our nafs, our ego, in check by making us realize that we must not let pride and haughtiness come in the way of our actions. And Allah also reveals in Surah Al-Haqqah that this reminder, which is also an admonition, is nothing but the Quran, and that is only a tazkirah, reminder for the muttaqeen, the people who have taqwa, i.e., those who are God conscious. Surely this Quran is a reminder to the God-fearing. It is interesting to note that many of us go through life, through our challenges, and continuously make the same mistakes again and again. Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala presents us with the same exam, but we fail it time and again, as many of us repeat those mistakes, as we have not inculcated the fundamental core value of taqwa into our way of life. We hide behind the veil of heedlessness and allow self-pity and outside influences to consume us, which only destroys our soul and hinders any effort to come closer to Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala. We justify our wrongs being okay because we are so weak that we allow other people's wrong actions to influence ours, and justify to ourselves that if society is okay with it, then so should we. We conveniently forget that this is the very reason why our deen strongly inculcates the fundamental value of maroof and munkar, which is essentially urging people to do what is right and to avoid doing what is wrong. This Ramzan, let us reflect on our journey towards Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala. Let us gauge where and how far we stand before Him by assessing how often do we displease our Creator by not allowing ourselves to wear our protective armor, our taqwa. Let us always be mindful of taqwa, especially in our weakest moments, when we are on the verge of being taken over by our lusts and desires. It is in that very moment can we choose to be extremely conscious of Allah by avoiding doing that very thing that may take us further away from our Rabb. May Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala give us all the strength to practice taqwa at all times. If you have liked this video, please subscribe to my YouTube channel and do share it with your loved ones. The link is in the feed below. Wishing you all a very blessed Ramzan, and may the light of Al-Muzzammil shine upon you and your loved ones, bringing barakah and peace. Ameen.